What's up to all my freelancers and creatives? This is Nathan with another episode of Freelance Jumpstart TV. And in this episode, we're going to talk about the road trip, but this time it's part 2. Last week, I told you about how I traveled to New Orleans, Louisiana to speak at a conference. The conference was called WordCamp NOLA, or WordCamp New Orleans, Louisiana. And I got to talk about being a freelancer and how to price yourself accordingly and understanding what your value is. As I traveled back from Louisiana to Texas, it was a long drive, about 5 hours. And during this time, I rode with my good friend Obina Okongwu of Cakewalk Films. And we talked about many different things, whether it be about pricing, what's going on in our business, and professionalism. In last week's episode, we had the chance just to talk about pricing yourself as a freelancer and understanding what your value is. In this week, we're going to talk about the second part of our conversation on the road trip, and that was strictly the fact that you need to be professional. When I first started out as a freelancer, I was just very excited to work with clients. I just literally would do anything as long as I could communicate them and as long as I could get work. But honestly, that wasn't the best for setting the precedence for professionalism. I would do certain things like text clients or use a Gmail address or just work without a contract. I did so many things just because I was excited in working with a client. I didn't want to scare them off, that I just honestly wasn't very professional overall. These road trip episodes are a little differently. They're mainly audio because we were driving, right? So you can go to freelancejumpstart.tv/46, because this is episode 46, and go to that link so that you can listen to the conversation between me and Obina about professionalism. We both kind of tag team and give different tips and advice to freelancers on what it really takes to be professional. And we're really just speaking from some experience because, as I mentioned earlier, I failed. I did some of these things. So these were common pitfalls that we tripped over and just wanted to tell you all so you wouldn't fall for those same pitfalls. So you can go to the link, listen to the audio for this particular episode, and chime into the conversation. We want to hear from you all as well about what it takes to be a professional freelancer. Thank you once again for checking out this particular episode. As I mentioned, go to the link and listen. And coming up next week is the keynote talk that I did at this conference, and it was a great time. To be honest, it was one of my first speaking opportunities in this type of forum. So I think it went pretty well. Everyone told me it was a great talk, and I wanted to share it with you on this podcast as well. But that's next week, so subscribe so you can know what's going on. If you're on YouTube, you can subscribe, or you can subscribe to Freelance Jumpstart on podcast so you can make sure you can hear what's coming up next week. Well, to the next one, I'll catch you later. See ya.